Nick,
Hey there, Jen. I've
I
got a
hear you have a
problem.
problem.
I've got a problem, and it's not that hat.
Oh, do you like my hat?
I love that hat. I think that's
This is my
fantastic.
product hat because I'm here to solve your problems with our product.
Fantastic. Well, I sent you this link to the Magical Mystical Mountain. Thank you for bringing it up. Do me a favor, scroll down or scroll up, whatever the kids are saying
Yes,
these
here it's
days.
this one, right? The Magical
That
Mystical Mountains. You've got your banner and
that's the
you're
one.
using, yeah, okay, got it.
I'm using the default with the little cards, which
Mm-hmm.
is great for most of my trips. But because of the nature of this trip, I'm thinking that the sales page view would be cool. But the problem is I, if you change it for one, doesn't it change it for everything?
That used to be true, but it is no longer true. You can now
What?
go to update trip and settings, and you can change the trip page style on a per trip basis. So you can choose to check out your sales page style on just this one trip, and we'll see how that looks with a quick reload. And here
Cool.
you are. You're now using the sales page style for this trip only.
All right, scroll and let's see what it looks like. I've got to update my images because I took this from my Jordan trip. It's not the Magical Mountains,
Mm-hmm.
different Magical Mountains. That's fantastic. I love that. That's very cool. But I've got another problem. Look at that gorgeous banner that I took all day to create. Notice how it's cutting off my awesome travel company.
Mm,
All right.
yes.
Is, is there any way that we can, the banner underneath that says the only way to see the magical mystical mountains, is there any way to reduce that size or change it or get rid of it so that my banner is the
Yeah.
highlight?
Absolutely. So it's two options you have. So we'll do the first one, which is just to make it a little bit smaller instead of the full width. So you can have the best of both worlds between the sales page style and the sort of default left nav. And you can actually get this box shrunk down. So that's one way to get that working.
I like
Do you
that. Can
like
we
the,
get rid of it? I like
yeah,
that, but
yeah.
can I see what it looks like if we get rid of it altogether?
Absolutely. So you can actually uncheck the trip name. So to make that box go away altogether, you uncheck both of those because those both sit in the box. And we're just going to reload that and show you now that that
Okay.
trip name box is just gone completely.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so now what about this? So my banner already says I'm in Colorado. It tells me how many days, it tells me the dates and everything. So all that information underneath my hero banner is redundant. Can we get rid of that?
Mm, yes. So you can uncheck all three of those things.
Awesome.
And boom, your hero banner is your hero.
Way cool. Way cool. Yeah, that's what I want. Awesome.
So
All
you'll
right.
you'll notice that there's no price bar here. That's actually a feature of the sales page style.
Well, let's
And
go back and let's
so
take a look at it.
yeah, so it might be worth exploring and you can toggle around, like you can play with like turning things on and off and toggling between styles and just, see what it is that is the right combination for you. So, you know, there's no there's no right way to do this. It's just what makes sense for your brand and also now for this trip. So you can actually have different flows for different experiences because of course, depending on whether or not you're collecting expressions of interest or you're taking direct bookings, if it's a free event versus a paid event, you might want to show different things. Um, and especially if you're doing just like a one time event, like a 1 day event, sometimes showing the number of days doesn't make sense. So that's a good reason to turn that off as well.
Very cool. And you said that the price only shows up when I'm in the highlight card style.
Right. So
So
that's
if
like that.
I
Mhm.
so if I did want the regular sales page view, then in Canva I would just put the price up in my banner. So and then it would just
Very
be
good point.
all up
Yeah.
there.
So if you are kind of the Canva master, definitely the way to go there is to do the sales page style, and this will be off. And then you just show your banner. So make sure you're showing your banner. You don't want to turn
Right?
that one off in this
Right.
case. Um, And then, yeah, absolutely. That would be the adjustment is to pull that into your Canva and they put it here. Or, depending on, if that's not the thing, if you're not selling on price, it's just about having them go here and pick their
Right.
package to decide what the price is. So we have a number of clients who actually prefer not to lead with the price and actually get them
Sure.
hooked, then go to the invoice and then pick their package. And by then they're sort of like, oh, I still want to go. It sort of doesn't matter. Whereas if you put it in the banner, it might push someone away because they feel it's too expensive. So maybe
Sure.
let the sales page do its job before you put
Yeah.
pricing in front of
Way
them.
cool. All right. That answers all my questions. Thanks.
Well, there's a couple of other things you might want to think about for some other trips. I know you're very focused on the Magic Mountains at the moment, but
What?
keeping in mind, I know, I mean, who knows what kind of experiences you're going to create in the future. So just keeping in mind the options to toggle the pricing on and off we've already shown. We've talked about turning these on and off. You can do that selectively, so you don't have to turn them all off at once. And so, along those lines, for example, the show traveler status. So, we've got a little example of you're going, but that actually is configurable down here. That's been configurable for a while. And so, it could be, you're booked, you're going, pay your deposit. You can customize all of this, but if you're like, you know what, I don't like the fact that this changes, or you can't find the right language, or these different statuses don't correlate to the experience your attendees have, then you can just turn it off. So you can just uncheck that box, and then that section just doesn't show altogether. And so I'll show you what that looks like in the highlight card style on this trip. So just reloading that. So now you can see it just says find your magic in Jordan, right? And
Right?
it doesn't have that section at the top. You'll notice though that it does have this like view profile thing when they're registered. So keep in mind, this isn't the public page. It's just once they've registered onto the trip, this option here appears, which is the same as
Sure.
this link down here. So if you
Okay.
find that annoying, you might want to just turn that off. So you can just uncheck that box as well. So just to make it less of an emphasis, right? So they can
Yeah,
still
show
get
me.
there. Yeah. Do you like that feature? Do you ever use the view profile up there?
I mean, honestly, there, no, it's always off to the side there. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So that's why we
interesting.
felt that, now that it's down in that bar, it doesn't necessarily need to be in your hero section, right? So that's why
Sure.
we've given that option to turn that off. And then, I think really it's just finding the right combination of things for your particular situation. So I default all of this stuff is on. And so it's just about coming into a particular trip and going, you know what? No, I don't want this information to show. Like,
Yeah.
especially in this case, maybe you're doing more than just Jordan, and that's maybe just where you're starting. So you might want to just uncheck that so that instead of confusing them by having one location up in the header, you just make it clear that they need to check the full itinerary to see exactly where they're going to go. And yes, they arrive in
Sure.
Amman, but they're going all over. And so those details are in the itinerary. So that's the kind of decision that you'll be making in terms of why to show these things versus not show these things. So
Excellent.
we're hoping that this empowers you to create these really unique trip pages that really express what matters for the checkout experience, so the sort of discovery and checkout experience that your clients have when they're booking onto your trips, your events, and yeah, just going on a magical, mystical mountain tour.
I love how flexible this has become. I'm going to definitely be using all of these different tools, and I love that the fact that I can customize them for each and every trip. That's really important to me.
So, just one little tip on that. If you do actually want consistency across your trips, once you've played around and you've discovered like what's the right style for your trips,
Yeah.
you actually want to go ahead and make a template based off of that. So, you don't have to
Sure.
remember each time you're doing a trip what to check and uncheck. Just create a template. And then when you're making your trips, just make it from the template. That way, you don't forget which of these things you want toggled on and off and what those settings should be.
Cool. Very smart. Very smart. Very smart tip.
I'm excited to see what you make next, Nick.
Just wait. Thanks so much, Jen. I'll talk to you later.
See you next time.